Okay, so now we're recording. Okay, so I'm sharing screen. All right, so for those who just arrived, I said that what I want to do is I want to go over the test from last year. So I'm just going to kind of go through some questions, let you guys speak up. And this is going to be kind of like just an open mic. So, feel free to chime in if you have a question. You can take, probably best to mute your microphone if you're just taking notes and you don't have anything to say, just so there's no extra background noise. But if you do have something to say, feel free to unmute. Feel free to ask away. I don't see it as being rude whatsoever. So that's just kind of just
the test is next week, right?
Yes. So what I'm going to do for the test, actually, good question. Let's actually go over that really quickly. So it's going to be done online. I'm not going to show you the questions because that wouldn't be right. But what I'm going to do, it's going to look like this. So there's going to be a test here. And hopefully, okay, whoa, you're not supposed to see that. Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be done online. And it's going to be done through Schoology. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it, I have a deadline for like 3 o'clock next Monday to have it done, or maybe 3:30 to have it submitted. But I'm going to have you guys, ask you guys to start it at 1:30. So if you have extended time, of course, you'll get that. I think for those with normal time, I think what I'll do is I'll probably create as 3 different assignments, and I'll individually assign it to for people with regular time, 50% and double time. So if you're regular time, I'm going to obviously assign you the one that's set for an hour. So it will stop after 1 hour automatically. If you have 50% time, I'm going to set it for 90 minutes. And if you have double time, I'm set for 2 hours. And I'll individually assign it to all the different groups that fall in those categories. It's going to be 10 multiple choice questions. So 10 multiple choice questions. Okay, I have no idea why it's doing that. This is so, I got, hold on, maybe I just turn this off. Let's turn that off, there we go. Okay, 10 multiple choice questions and 10 free response. The free response are gonna be more like fill in the blanks. So the way that will look, and again, I'm recording this so you guys could totally watch this later on. But the way that's going to look like, I might give you a log equation, like say log base 2 of x plus log. I'm totally making this up. I have no idea if this works. But I'll give you something like this, and then there'll be a blank like x equals, and it's going to be a number, and you're going to put that number in. And it's going to grade for me automatically. What I'm going to do to help you with partial credit is after you're done with the test, you probably should have a notepad next to you and like write out your work. And I'm going to ask that you take a picture of your work after you're done and just upload it to Schoology. So I'll have it as like a submission as well. So that way, if you do miss a question, I can at least give you some points for it. If it's careless, and I'll try to give you most of the credit. And of course, I still need to see that you're showing your work. So even if you get the answer right, I still want to see your work, just for the academic honesty purposes. So that's pretty much how we're going to design it: 10 multiple choice, 10 free response. I imagine that you guys should be able to do this pretty quickly. I'll do a mock run first to make sure it's manageable. If it's not manageable, then I'll reduce the questions, and I'll let you guys know. And we are going to do another review before the test on Monday for the first hour. So at least you'll have another chance to talk to me. And if we have office hours tomorrow, we have office hours Friday, I think. So I'll just be in the same chat room. I'll send you guys a link. Just drop by whenever you like. It's open. If no one shows up, that's fine. I'll just be plugging away at my computer doing some other stuff. But that's how the test is going to go. It's going to be on March 23rd.
Are we allowed to use our notes, or is this?
Yes, it's open up. Absolutely. I'll make some updates to Schoology. I just updated the dates, but I'll make some updates for what's okay and what's not okay. I mean, yeah, open notes is fine. Obviously, don't have like another person next to you. That's I trust you're not going to communicate using online resources. So just be smart about it. But yeah, we're just going to do it like a normal test. So it'll be. We'll see how it goes. I might wait it slightly less. I don't know. We'll see. I want to do whatever that helps you guys, but we do need to assess it. So any other general questions about the test before we get into review? Yep, okay, cool. And again, if anything just pops up, just let me know. Oh, there you are, Farah. Okay, good. And so whose math is cool?
Oh, I have a question. Are we going to be doing like quizzes and stuff, or is it just going to?
Nah.
Okay.
I think when we get, hopefully if we're back after spring break, I'll probably do quizzes then. Yeah, because I know your quiz scores are obviously low. Because
No, they're not the best.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably, if we have to keep doing things like this, if this coronavirus gets worse, then maybe we'll just revert to more quizzes, or maybe week 3. I don't know. We'll see. But if we're back live meeting in person, I think I'll start doing more quizzes, and I'll try to make them easier so that it kind of dilutes the bad grade from the ones in January. So don't worry, it will take care of itself. If somehow we don't get to do more quizzes and it sticks like a sore thumb, I might just throw them out too. So that's also on the board. Anything's on the board here. We're in a much different situation, so circumstances change, right? So let's talk about what is going to be on the test. So this is a test from last year, and I'm pretty much going to design it in a much similar way. Now, I'm not going to ask you to graph anything like by hand because that's just too hard to do on Schoology. What I'll probably wind up doing is I might give you an equation and say, hey, give me the domain and range for this equation, and it'll be multiple choice, or it might be fill in the blank. Or I'll say, hey, give me the equation of the asymptote, and that could be a multiple choice. Or I could give you a graph of an equation that I could generate on Desmos and say, hey, which of the following equations matches this graph? Or I could give you the equation itself and say, here's 4 graphs, match the graph with the equation. So that's how I'll probably want to assess it. We'll just go through the motions anyway, because I think it's good to do. And I'll kind of ask questions, and wants to chime in, they can. I won't cold call, because I know it's, you guys are still getting used to this, and I don't know, I don't really cold call anyway. So here we go. Let me move this over. Okay. So we got number 1, and again, I am recording this. Feel free to take pictures with your phone if you like to, but this is recorded, so you'll be able to watch it. And I will actually upload a copy of this exam to Schoology as well. And I'll just label it as, Spring 2019 Chapter 7 test, so the one from last year. So, and I'll also post the answer key as well. So everything you're going to get. So, so if you want to just sit back and relax, that's totally cool. So remember, you want to focus on the parent function. That's showing up again. Why is it doing that? Hold on a sec. See if I could. Hopefully it doesn't come back. Okay. So start with the parent function. Y equals 1/2 raised to the x. That's the parent. Now, is that going to be growth or decay? Anyone can chime in. If you think it's decay, raise your hand. You should be raising your hands, decay. Right? Good. All right. This is decay. It's a decay function, so it's going to drop. So if I make a quick table, 0, 1, 2, and -1, I get 1/2. I get, oops, sorry, I get 1, 1/2, 1/4, and 2. So the graph kind of looks like this. That's the parent function. Now in red, I'll do the transform function. This is the actual function we want to do. So we got to figure out h and k, and a as well. Okay, what are my a, h, and k values? Anyone can chime in if they like.
A is -2.
Well,
Yep, and h is?
-1.
And k is?
0.
There's no k, good. So what this means is I have to multiply by -2, because that's what a impacts y. And over here, I have to subtract x by 1. So yeah, So if I subtract x by 1, that's easy. Negative 1, 0, 1, negative 2. I simply just subtract 1 from those numbers. And then I'm going to multiply all the y values by negative 2. So I have, of course, negative 2, negative 1, negative half, and negative 4. So you can see how the points are now adjusted. I'll probably erase this one because I think it's going to be a little distracting. So let's just erase it. And let me do the new one in red. So negative 1, negative 2, 0, negative 1, 1, negative half, and of course, negative 2, negative 4. So we expect the graph to look like this. So it's flipped over. Remember, the original one was like this. That was the original, so it should be flipped over, obviously. And it's stretched a little bit, so it looks a little longer. And it's hard to see the horizontal shift. It's not very obvious, but just trust it's there. So the equation of the asymptote, because k was 0, the VA stays the same. Sorry, the HA. It's a horizontal asymptote, my bad. The HA stays the same. So it's still going to be y equals 0. Now, domain, is the domain all real numbers? Raise your hand if you think so. Yep, good. Okay. Domain's all real numbers. Oh yeah, there's a feature for that. Yeah, I'm still kind of getting used to this system here. Yeah, well, we'll worry about that later. I guess there's a way you can raise your hand or do a thumbs up, but it's all good. The range is y is less than 0. Okay, so that's it. That's how you do that graph. So again, the way I could ask this on the test next week is I could say, here's an equation, just give me domain range. Here's an equation, give me the asymptote. Here's an equation, pick which of the 4 graphs would it fit with, and I'd probably do as multiple choice. Or I could just give the equation with the points themselves and then say, which of the following could that be? And the way that you would go about that, actually, maybe we could practice that in a little bit. But the way that would go is like I'll give you points on the graph itself, which you can actually test into the equations. So that's that. Let's do some log practice, and then we will do the graph of the log. So we'll now evaluate. Okay. So let's start with this one. Why is that coming back? Okay. So that's log base e of root e. Remember, ln is log base e. Now, what is the square root as an exponent? We should know this. It's 1/2. And it's almost like these cancel. So the answer is just 1/2. So that's what's happening there. Or you can move the 1/2 to the front using our power property, which we now learned in 7.5. And whenever this happens, whenever the base and the input are 100% identical, b to the 1 power, of course, equals b. So this is always going to be 1 whenever these are the same. So you still get 1/2 anyway. So that's how you would handle ln. And I probably treat this as a fill in the blank. That's how I probably won't be multiple choice. It'll probably be, ln root e equals blank, and you got to put an answer in the blank. Why don't you guys try B, C, and D on your own? Remember, if you don't see a base is 10 for common log. And of course, you have the other ones there. So go and try those 3. And then we're going to move on to log graphs. And of course, I'll reveal the answers. And I'm going to deliberately put 3 answers for each of these and kind of see what you guys think. Okay. So for B, who thinks the answer is -2? Raise your hand. That's good. 2 will not work because the answer is -2 here. 2 would not work because then you're saying 1 over 100 equals 10 squared. So you don't want 2, and you don't want 1 either. So it has to be -2 because 10 to the -2 gets you 1/10. So look at it like this: log base 10 of 1 over 100 equals question mark 1 over 100 equals 10 to the question mark. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, we will take a break at 1 o'clock, and then we'll start up again at 1:30. We'll play a Jeopardy game at that point. And you guys can just form the teams however you like, and we'll do this for extra credit as well. So,
wait, how does log 100 log 10? Wait, how does 10 to the negative? Oh, because it's 1 over 10 to the power of 2.
you got it. Yep.
And then
Go ahead.
what does instead of putting the question mark, can we just put X there and
Whatever
then
you want. Sure.
X?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now here, hopefully you got 0 for that one. The reason why is that 25 to the 0 power, or anything to the 0 power for that matter, equals 1. And then for this one, just going to be 1/2.
Is the test going to be open calculator?
Yes. Yes. There's no way I can monitor that. So
Okay.
can you use a calculator? Yes, you can. I'm not going to. Actually, it's a great question. Yeah, there's just no way I could really monitor that. So yeah, technically you could use it, but I still need to see the work. So
Okay.
so here's how you would show the work, because I want to make sure you guys get full credit. So the way you would show the work, and we'll do like what Matt suggested, so it's equal to x, 3 equals 9 to the x equals 1/2. You do that, you get full credit, because it shows me you understand what you're doing. But yeah, you could totally use a cal, and that's actually, I mean, yeah, if you know how to use a calculator, that's a skill. I'm not gonna weight these questions that much, obviously, because they are a little easier. Yeah, like C, like for part C, that's how I would show my work over here, and I'd show my work like this over here for part B. So you get -2, 0, and 1/2 for those questions. Okay. Right, any questions about how I went about those? Nope. Okay. And again, the test, it'll just be basically, I'll just give you the expression. You just tell me what it equals, and you're good. Okay. So let's keep moving. Let's talk about doing a log graph. Then we'll do the calculator parts. So your parent why did that reappear? Okay. Yeah, the parent's going to be y equals log base 2x. So, because here you have a, h, and k values. And you have your notes, so I don't really have to give you the formulas, I guess. But for word problems, I'll tell you what specific formulas you use so you're not confused. Or I'll give you kind of a list of formulas. But generally speaking, that's what we expect for a general log equation. You have h and k values. So a is 1, h is -3, and k is 1. So you don't worry about a at all. That's just kind of like not a concern of ours. But let's focus on the parent function first. Now remember, this is the same thing as saying that. Same exact thing. It's the inverse of what we saw in the first problem we did, where now y is the input and x is the output. So if y is my input, I'm going to use those values for y and throw them in.
Wait, is that a 2 or a z?
Hold on. That's a 2.
Okay.
That's a 2. And that's a -1. Actually, let me erase that so it's a little more clear. Yeah, it's a -1. So the graph of a log looks like this, just to jog your memory. That's a graph of a log. It has a vertical asymptote, has a range that's all real. The domain is going to be restricted. That's all for the parent function, but I'm going to erase those because that's not what the task at hand is. The task at hand is to do the transformed, which I'll do over here. We want the transformed function.
So when you plug, or when it's a log function, you plug 0, 1, 2, and -1 in for y instead.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. And you probably want to rewrite it like that. For the parent function, just so you can make sense of it. Because then we're going to alter it, right? So what we're going to do is, because our h is -3, we're going to subtract x by 3. And here, I'm going to add 1 to y, because my k is 1. So if I add 1 to y, I have 1, 2, 3, 0. If I subtract x by 3, I get -2, -1, 1, and -2.5. So I'm going to erase this graph so it's not distracting. So I'm just doing the same process I did before. You know, transformations, we've done this many times with so many different functions. So it's very universal, the process. -2, 1, -1, comma 2, 1, comma.
Can you repeat how you got those points? I'm confused.
Oh, how I got these points over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took these points and I used my h and k values.
Oh, okay.
So, so the parent function, are you comfortable with that? How I got those points
Yeah.
for the parent? Yes. So parent
Oh,
just.
so you do like 1 minus 3. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm subtracting. I probably should have showed that. Yeah, I'm doing 1 minus 3, 2 minus 3. Yeah. Yes. Sorry if I glossed over that. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. And I'm just plotting the points now. Now, where's the vertical asymptote going to be? If k was, sorry, If h is -3, so I shifted 3 left, so it's got to be right here. That's x equals -3. X is greater than -3, and range is all real. And so the graph looks like this. And again, I'm not going to ask you to draw the graph freehand. I'll just do this more as a multiple choice question, or it could be fill in the blank, but say, hey, here's a log equation. What's the domain going to be? Or what's the range going to be? And remember, the domain and range are switched from the exponential function. The exponential function we did in number 1, where domain was all real and range was restricted. Just the reverse, because they're inverses of each other. So okay, hopefully we're okay with all that. Any questions about log graphs? Nope. Okay. Yeah, and I'll definitely put some more materials up for you as a practice. You guys still have the review guide, still have all the other classwork stuff. Don't worry about classwork. I'll look at that when we get back in person, so don't worry about. I'll still post something up like here's what you should have done, but don't worry about turning that in because that's going to be too hard to do right now. All right, let's. Oh, we have. Let's forego this. This is a concept I didn't really emphasize. It's called the change of base formula. Let's not worry about that. Let's just forego that. I want to jump here now. So we are going to do some different skills. These will definitely be multiple choice. These are really going. These are going to be really, really hard to do as a fill in the blank. So maybe want to make a note of that these will be more. These will definitely be multiple choice format. Okay. So inverse. What's the first step? Anyone could chime in.
You
Replace
switch y.
switch
now.
x and y.
Yes. And then isolate y. So I'm going to do part A and let you guys try part B. So switch x and y. That's super easy. Then you're going to want to divide by 2. Do not multiply that 2 to the 5. Do not do that, please. That's really bad. That's disobeying PEMDAS. That's bad. Don't do that. So divide by 2. And this is kind of the big step. This is why it's going to be important for you to take a picture of your work and submit to Schoology. And I'll give you guys that option to do that for our test next week. So log base 5 of x over 2 equals y plus 3. Very important. What we're doing here, remember, I'll move off to the side. I'll do a different color. Remember, if you have x equals b to the y, it's the same exact thing as saying that. Those are totally the same thing. So that's all I did, was I just moved this base to the base of a log, and of course, isolate the exponent. And then subtract the 3. And you'll get your final answer. Y equals log base 5, x over 2, minus 3. So that's the inverse of our original function. And I know I did this right, because what if I plug a number into here? We'll say x is -2. What would y equal if I plug a -2 into the original function? Anyone can chime in.
Wait, can you repeat what you just said?
If I plug a -2 into the original equation for x, what would
10.
y equal? 10. Yep, give me 10. Now the whole point of inverse is to switch x and y. So now x is going to be 10 and y is going to be -2. So -2 equals log base 5 of 10 over 2 minus 3 log base 5 of 5. And so you get 1 minus 3 equals -2. And it checks out. So that's how you can kind of check to verify your work. Like if you plug in a random x value and solve for y, and then reverse them and plug them into the inverse to see if the left side equals the right side, they should. They should. So I'll have you guys now try B. Now remember, you don't see a base. There's no base at all whatsoever. So you assume it's 10. Always assume it's 10 if you don't see a base. So you're going to have to switch x and y and then isolate y. So why don't you guys go ahead and try that. You can text each other or like, I don't get this, or you can shoot me a chat. I mean, there is an option where I think you just, and it should show up on my end. Oh, there's chats. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so hopefully switch x and y. I think I could sneak this in here. And hopefully subtracted the 1. So you should have that at least. Now you want to do 10 to the x minus 1 power. 10 raised to the x minus 1 power equals y minus 2. Add the 2. And there you go. And it should be an exponential function because that's the inverse of a log function. So that's that one. Let's look at expanding. That one should be pretty straightforward. So any question about the inverses, by the way, how I did part B? No, we're okay? Okay, cool. Yeah. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, so let's see here. So log base 4 of 16 plus log base 4 of x5. Very important, there's a times. So you break like that and then move the 5 to the front. That's all you gotta do for that one. It does say value whenever possible. So of course you got that. Because that does equal 2. If you see that in the multiple choice, I think you'll be fine. So, because you may not see this first option here, you might see this. So obviously, if there's an opportunity to evaluate, just do that. So once you guys try part B on your own, and by the way, if it's division, you're going to be using a different property. And keep in mind you have a square root of y. What I'm going to put in that highlighted portion there.
A minus symbol.
Yep, very good. Totally a minus symbol. And then remember, a square root is an exponent. We've talked about this in the previous unit. It's y to the half. So you totally can move that 1/2 to the front. Now this right here, we know equals 1. So I'm going to put -1, and then we are all set. Now what you guys are going to do is try condensing. I'll put this on the same page in case you're still looking at number 6 here. And it's very similar, just using the same properties, but now you're condensing. So very important that we roll back any numbers being multiplied and treat them as exponents. And then of course, if you see a plus, you multiply. If you see a minus, you divide. So it should be log okay, just want to turn off the keyboard. I don't know why it keeps showing up. The log of x squared plus log of y to the half. And of course, that's just log of x squared times y to the half. And you can leave it like that. That's totally fine.
Wait, why is it times y to the power 1/2?
Because you got plus.
Oh.
Yes, that's part of our properties. So whenever you have a plus between two logs, you can multiply those inputs. Because if you broke it apart, you'd be naturally putting a plus in between logs.
They
Is
have to
there
have
any
the
way you
same
can-
base, right?
Of course, they must have the same base in order to do that. Yes, absolutely. And they will.
Is there any way you can scroll up so that I can get a
Of
picture?
course.
of your
Yeah.
logo?
Here we go. Is this good enough?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect. Okay, good.
Thanks.
Okay, then let's talk about this. There's a minus in between, so I'm going to divide. It's got log base 2 of 24 out over 6 24 over 6 is easy. That's just 4 straight up. And that's totally going to be 2. Because 2 to the second power is 4. So we just get 2 in that case. So you're simplifying, right? This whole point. You want to make it look simpler than it did before. So I think that covers condensing. And then we got about 10 more minutes before we do a break. Any questions so far? We're okay?
I had kind of a little bit of an unrelated question.
Please,
I
fire
remember
away.
you said we could make a pie for extra credit. Can I make a pie from home and get extra credit?
How about this? When we come back, let's make a pie, and then we'll do Pie Day in April. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, right now it's not a good time. I went to a restaurant Saturday, and there was hardly anyone there, and all the servers were wearing gloves and masks. It was weird. In the Starbucks, I tried to do I was covering for a colleague who couldn't do a session this morning, and went to a Starbucks, and they said, no, we're not taking any people inside.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they're only doing either drive-through or just, yeah.
I heard tonight, starting tonight, you can't go out for 2 weeks except for the grocery store. And
That's what I heard. I heard that I don't. Yeah, I don't.
No, I think it's official.
Yeah,
Really?
you're not out unless
It's like a lockdown.
Hold on, are we officially quarantined by the government?
Maybe.
I think we're about to be, which is super weird.
Super scary.
Yeah.
No, but Gavin Newsom.
We're quarantined by our county.
Wait,
Gavin Newsom was saying he was going to close down all the bars, but the restaurants would remain open.
are we?
What's gonna happen to the owners of the restaurants? Are they gonna go bankrupt or stuff? If they
No, the government will fund them or something.
My hope is just a landlord won't be greedy and say, look, you don't have to pay rent, and then the banks will, if the landlord has a mortgage on a property, they just won't.
I mean, yeah, the landlord, there's nobody else who's able to pay rent for a restaurant now, so.
Yeah.
Is this an official document somewhere, or is it just things you've heard?
I don't know. I think we're just.
I think it's official now.
Are we not allowed to leave? Is that?
I don't know.
You make it sound so apocalyptic.
It is
No
so.
idea. I've been hearing some of that stuff too, but
it's kind of crazy. Will there be police enforcing it, or what's gonna?
I don't know how.
Illegal to leave.
I think what the president will probably do is he'll probably ban interstate travel. No one could travel from state to state. So I think that's what the president could do, but I think it really kind of comes down to on a state level or county level of how they would want to quarantine the people who live. I don't know. I heard that too yesterday. I don't know. We'll see. Things are changing very quickly by the minute. So we'll take it one at a time.
What is the final answer for
B?
B?
Just 2.
Just 2? Okay.
Yeah, because you wind up getting this.
Yeah.
And then I want you to evaluate afterwards, which is and we know that because we've done it in the non-calc part, which of course is the calculator. All right, so let's so shoot, I'm not gonna be able to do all this in 7 minutes. I didn't realize you had word problems also. What we'll do is this. Let me do the some of the equations with you guys because it kind of ties in with what we just did. I'll have to talk about word problems when we come back from our break, and then we'll do a Jeopardy game. So let's do this. And there will be word problems, and there'll be a fill in the blank. So you have to put the number in, then of course still have to show your work by taking a picture afterwards. So this one here, we're going to divide by 2. To get that. I'm actually going to copy and paste the other ones here so you kind of see the first steps. So I'm going to kind of do these simultaneously. I'll do different colors so they stand out. So here you want to say 2x plus 3 equals 4 to negative 1. And here, you're going to want to combine these two. Log base 2 of x minus 2 times x equals 3. So I think for A, you need to write this as a log because you need to isolate x. So you could say log base 6 of 40 equals 3x. Remember, it's just using this property. If you have b to the x equals y, it's log base b of y equals x. That's exactly what I'm doing here. And you just have to use your calculator to work it out. Do you guys remember how to do this in the calculator? We're okay with that? Seconds, window. You'll see something that kind of looks like this. Actually, if someone has their calculator with them, oh, that's the other thing too. Yeah, you gotta make sure you have your calculators with you because I can't give you. So if you don't have one, talk to a friend. If worse comes to worse and you're like, okay, I just can't get one, just let me know and I'll let you come on campus. I'll just tell the security, hey, someone's coming by to pick up something. Assuming we're not major quarantine. Oh, you know what you guys can do? Actually, you know what? Don't worry about that. Use Desmos. Just Desmos can do this for you.
Do we need a calculator for the test?
For some parts, yes, you would. Come on. Just do this, Desmos. Yeah, so you could totally do the calculator bit right here. So, yeah, logs right there. Actually, hold on a sec. Don't know why it's not letting me do change the base. Okay, well then I guess you maybe would need a calculator. Okay. Thought for sure you could do change the base here. Let's go back to this. Anyway, but if you actually feel off your answer like that, well, no, because you do need a calculator. Maybe I'll design the question where you don't need that. But hopefully, if you can't find a calculator, let me know. I'll figure it out. 2x plus 3 equals 1/4. 2x equals negative 2.75. And of course, it's negative 2.75 divided by 2, which I think is negative 1.375. And then lastly, one in green, it's x minus 2 times x equals 2 cubed. That's x squared minus 2x equals 8. X squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. X minus 4, x plus 2. So x equals 4 or negative 2. So this one's obviously more steps, understandably why it's worth more points. Remember, we're using this property as well. That's why the 2 got risen to the third power. And then after that, it's just kind of just quadratic stuff. I mean, you guys should be comfortable with that. However, you got to check your answers. Which answer is not okay for C? Are both okay?
-2.
Yeah, -2 is not cool because you can't log negative numbers. That would be an issue. Because if you're trying to do log base 2 of -2, I don't know what that would be. You can't raise 2 to some power and make it -2, so that can't happen. Okay, so there are still some word problems I would like to talk about with you guys, but we'll do that after the break. So why don't you guys take a 30-minute break? I'm actually gonna stop sharing my screen here and then stop the recording.